Okay, I'm ready.
Welcome to TCM, everybody. I am joined here by Vanessa Giordano, one of the 25 fans who won our contest to help us celebrate our 25th anniversary this month, each one picking a movie and each one dedicating the movie to somebody important in their life. Your film is A Guy Named Joe.
Yes.
1943, Spencer Tracy, Irene Dunn. Who'd you dedicate it to?
To my dad.
How come?
Well, we live cross-country from each other for 10 years now, and classic movies have always been the thing that bonds us. We talk every night on the phone, and we've kind of had this thing where we'd watch an original movie and then like a remake of it. So The Champ, the His Girl Friday, The Front Page, the Star is Born movies. And he was always telling me for years to watch A Guy Named Joe. And this was a couple years ago before Amazon and Netflix, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't even on DVD. And then one day it was on TCM. And I had seen Always, so I kind of knew what to expect.
Always is Steven Spielberg's remake.
Remake, yes.
Yeah, with Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes, which I thought
And
was...
Holly Hunter. Right?
Yeah. I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. And then I watched this movie, and it literally was life-changing because it's just like A Wonderful Life is. It makes you reevaluate your life. It has like a message to it. And then just the performances in it, the music, the direction, just the whole message of it really, affected me. So it's just something me and my dad share, and, we still talk about it. Hey, A Guy Named Joe.
Really, you talk to your dad every night?
Yeah, we do. We're best friends.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Is it hard to live across the country from him?
No. I'm just like an independent person. My family's different, East Coast. I am very focused on what I'm trying to do, so I'm good where I am, and I'm good with my dogs.
So you're an actress and a writer.
Yes.
Right. And how's that? That's a challenging road to take.
It's very challenging. But I know you have to have grit. I lived in New York City for a few years going to college, so I knew what to expect with the competition. Thank God I found writing, though, because you're not always able to act. With getting auditions, you can't really plan that or, depend on it. So with writing, I can write something and produce it myself and actually film it and get into festivals, or I had a movie come out last year. So it's... I look to people like Ida Lupino or, Mae West even, who did their own work, so.
You said you had a movie come out last year. What's that movie? Where can people find it?
Oh, 5150.
There you go, 5150. Check it out.
Thanks.
What draws you, do you think, to A Guy Named Joe?
Well, I'm always drawn to female characters that are strong, that they're not just there, to help the man's story along. I just, even since a child, when I was a child, I was drawn to these strong women like Betty Davis and Deborah Carr. More recently, Faye Dunaway. I love her. She's one of my heroes. But Irene Dunn, I've always loved her. I've seen The Awful Truth and Penny Serenade, and when I saw A Guy Named Joe, it's like her and Spencer Tracy are equals.
Yeah.
And it's a romance story, yes, but it's also about what she did in the war for America. And also, how not only did Spencer Tracy have to change in the story to adapt to his situation, but she did too. And it's moving.
And as much as he wants her to stop flying, she also wants him to stop flying, right?
Yes.
I mean, the idea that they want each other to be safe, and again, that's part of them, I think, being equals.
Exactly.
All right, Vanessa, thanks. If we talk more, we'll end up spoiling the movie, so we'll come back afterwards. Here's the film, an Oscar nominee for Best Original Story, directed by Victor Fleming, chosen by Vanessa Giordano, dedicated to her father from 1943, Irene Dunn, Spencer Tracy, Van Johnson, Ward Bond, A Guy Named Joe. Very powerful ending to A Guy Named Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even now, I get choked up talking about that ending. That last line Spencer Tracy says, "That's my guy," or "That's my girl," and "That's my guy."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's good.
Deep.
A little movie preposterous that she gets in the plane and
Well, well.
leads the bombing assault. But she was a pilot.
Yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We talked a little bit before the movie about Victor Fleming and Spencer Tracy and Irene Dunsmine really mistreating her before the film. And then after Van Johnson got hurt, they took the break. She went to the studio and said, hey, you got to get him to knock this off. And they did. To their credit, they did. Reshot some scenes. But she actually thought she was going to get fired.
Oh.
When Van Johnson got hurt. She thought, well, this is the time that they're going to wait for Van Johnson, but they're going to write me out of the script.
Which is interesting because, you know, she is a perfect person for this role. She sings in the movie. She has the comedic elements, but also the dramatic elements. So I would wonder who they would have replaced her with.
Well, it's just a sign, again, of how much this and just about every other business was a man's world.
Right.
Right? You like this, and not to take anything away from Always, which, by the way, you can't mention Always and not mention that Audrey Hepburn is in Always.
Yes.
I think her final screen performance. Yeah. So Spielberg's remake Always with Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, and Audrey Hepburn. How does it compare to A Guy Named Joe?
It's a great remake. I like that the situation was changed to fighting wildfires. But to me, there's nothing like this original movie. There's something magical about it. Victor Fleming's direction, even in the beginning when you see the aerial shots of the fighter planes, and even just, I mentioned before, the little kids that just want to call Spencer Tracy over and ask about, like, what is it like to be flying? And he's like, I'm going to tell you, but, you know, I'll tell you again, don't tell anybody. This is between us.
Right.
So right at the beginning, you understand that this guy, he's a good guy, even though sometimes he doesn't listen to his superiors and does what he wants. He's a good guy, you know.
And we should mention that the people you've now seen, everybody knows that you stick James Gleason in a movie, it gets better. You put Lionel Barrymore in a movie, it gets better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Vanessa, great stuff. Thanks very much.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
coming
having
in.
me.
And say hello to your father.
I will.
If indeed you speak. That's it for our fan programmers tonight, but we'll return tomorrow night with more selections for our 25th anniversary. In the meantime, stay with us because we have more films, wonderful films, and as always, they are uncut and commercial-free on Turner Classic Movies.